Hey guys, it's Alyssa. So today I wanted to bring you a video on how to get a job at Piercing Pagoda. I worked for Piercing Pagoda from November 2015 up through, I believe, June of 2016. I ended up leaving because of scheduling reasons. They were changing their system over, and the other two jobs I was working, I really couldn't accommodate with that. But I did love working there. My manager was awesome. We had a really good store. The mall was kind of dying, but the store was overall a really good place to work. So into how to get a job there. So number one, I would say, is go to the kiosk that you want to work at, whether it's one, whether it's multiple, and ask to talk to the manager if they're there. If not, try to find out when the manager will be there next. So find out usually what days she works, what times. You can always get the phone number to the place and give them a call. Be like, hey, is the manager in today? They'll be like, yes, no, they're here now, stuff like that. Number two would be, if you go to the store that day instead of calling, which I recommend, there is we used to do it on the back of the business cards for the store, but other stores could do it differently. There is stuff that you need to do a survey in order to even be considered for the job. So say you were to do the survey, it is pass or fail, but you need, in order to access the survey, you need like district, store number, and one other thing that I don't remember, but you need specific codes and numbers to input into the website in order to apply for that store, because you can only apply to one store at a time, I believe. But for the survey that you do fill out, be smart with your answers. Some of the questions are common sense that you would say no to whether you do it or not. That's all I'm gonna say on that. And a lot of the times it's mainly personality questions and lifestyle questions that they will be asking you. It's nothing like, do this amount of math in your head real quick, because I've done some of job applications and I'm like, I don't know what, can I get a calculator? It's nothing like that. Usually it's personality. What would you do in this situation? Do you strongly agree, disagree, stuff like that. The third one would be, once you complete the survey, call if you do it during store hours, which is usually 10 to 9 is usually store hours. It varies in locations. That's most of the hours in New England, at least Monday through Friday. It depends on mall hours a lot of the time too. But if you complete it during store hours while the store is open, call the store that you're applying to and let them know that you finished the survey. So whether it's the manager or not, usually, again, you want to talk to manager for most of this stuff, because the associates, unless it's the assistant manager, associates don't really have anything to do with any hiring or anything like that. But let the manager know, or let the associate, whoever answers the phone, know that you did complete the survey. Hopefully, if it's an associate, they'll take a note. If not, the manager can ask her manager so she can see the applications and she can look on their computer to see if you passed or you failed. It is pass or fail. That's it. It's not a hard survey. I've only seen a couple of people fail, and it was people that I don't think would do well in retail anyways, just for their personality, and they were just like, yeah, I don't give a fuck. They're not really like happy, upbeat person. If you pass, depending on how many people that they already have, if they're looking whether it's seasonal or if they're like really in need. Like, I know the one I used to work at is really in need of people right now, because my old manager and assistant manager ended up quitting, and one of their associates did, so now they only have 2 key holders, and they share girls from other stores now as well. But if they do need people, usually they will call you pretty quickly to schedule an interview or something. If they don't need people, the manager might not be on top of it as well, so be persistent. If you call, give that notice, wait 2 or 3 days before you call again. Don't call every day. Don't be annoying. It's going to deter the manager from wanting to hire you. Persistency is good, but excessive is bad. So once you let whoever know, whether it's manager or an associate, that you did complete the survey, and they see if you passed or failed, if they usually will tell you if you passed or failed the survey if you call and ask. And if they need people to schedule an interview, usually ASAP, probably that day or the next day, or as soon as you can get in there. If they don't necessarily need people, it might be a bit. They might rack up applications. Usually that could happen with seasonal hires, because they're going through so many people that they're like, I'm gonna put it off, especially if they only need like 1 or 2 people in the store, if they already have enough people. for like year round, because sometimes seasonals they usually hire like 2 associates or something. But if they don't need anyone, then just keep on top of it. Every 2 to 3 days, I would say give them a call until you get a no. I would keep calling every 2 to 3 days. That's just me. On to the actual interview portion of trying to get a job with Piercing Pagoda. Make sure you arrive early. A lot of times the manager will have you fill out some sort of a paper application just so they have it on file, because I don't know if they can see the results of the actual surveys or not. So bring your resume with you, and they might have you fill out a survey. So I do recommend getting there early, because you don't want, if they have back-to-back interviews or something, you don't want to make them overlap, because then that's going to make them not necessarily want to hire you if you made something else late, if they have to leave, stuff like that. So be early, at least on time, to fill out that paper, resume, dress professionally. So if you're gonna wear a dress, make sure your shoulders are covered. Make sure you're wearing tights or leggings, depending. If it's a maxi dress, you don't really have to worry about that, but if it's some sort of dress that goes above your knee, wear tights or leggings. The manager will appreciate that you look professional. If you're wearing pants, don't use leggings as pants. Depending on the store, depending on the dress code, some places will let you, some places won't while you're working. I always recommend going the extra mile during the interview. They say dress for the job that you want, not the job that you have. Dress professional. Wear regular pants, a really nice blouse, again, shoulders covering, nothing too revealing. Make sure your girls are covered. Make sure your butt's not sticking out. Okay, so that's kind of preparation for the interview to the actual interview. When she or he starts asking you questions, it's gonna be different scenarios. So be like, hey, tell me a time when this happened and how did you react to it? Or if this happened, what would you do? It's a lot of open-ended questions. Be personable, openly talk to them. If they're trying to have a normal conversation with you and maybe ask an interview question here or there, they're gonna like to see that, because that's what sales and retail is about. Is communicating with customers, selling to customers, showing them that you're genuine, showing them that you're personable. You will do better that way. One of the biggest things, interview tip that I personally think is great, whether I'm giving an interview or the interviewee, like the person getting interviewed, a firm handshake goes a long way. I can't tell you the amount of times when I've tried shaking somebody's hand and they have like a wimpy handshake and you're like, oh, so you're a wimpy person? To me, a strong handshake is a strong person, or at least having that strong grip and being like, hey, I'm authority, or something like that. That's just how I view handshakes. At the end of your interview, definitely thank them for their time. They don't necessarily have to interview you. They can always be like, no, I don't like you. Like, I just don't want to hire you. I don't think you have the right personality for this, stuff like that. Thank them for their time. Have a great day. I'll be glad to talk to you again, and I want to be hearing from you soon. Something like that goes a long way, especially if they know that you're expecting a call. Most of the time, from places I've worked in management, they will call you and be like, hey, we've offered the job to somebody else, or email you, something like that. They'll be like, hey, we've gone with another option. Thank you for your time. But they'll basically say. Some places don't necessarily do that. I'm not sure. I wasn't a manager at Piercing Pagoda, so I don't know exactly for that. Another thing too, depending back to when I said that they may or may not need people as soon as possible, they may or may not offer you the job on the spot. If they offer it to you on the spot, go into your interview like knowing your answer. So don't go and be like, whatever. If you need time to think about that when they offer you the job, tell them that. Don't be like, I don't know. Just be like, I need some time to process this, think about this. If you're in another job and that's what's holding you back, tell them that you're gonna need time to think about it, or say yes. Or if you say no, then why did you go to the interview? But that's just me. I do recommend following up post-interview. If you don't hear anything within 2 to 3 days, give them a call. Be like, hey, I had an interview. I was just wondering, was there any like further notice? Like, did I get it? Did I not? Again, try to talk to the manager in that situation, just because they're the ones that are going to give you the answer that you want, yes or no. Usually they're pretty good about it, but it varies location to location. So just keep an eye on it. Don't be excessive with the calls, just like basically asking about your original application. If you're too annoying, they won't hire you. I'm sorry, they won't. Most places won't. thank you guys for watching and have a great rest of your day. I hope you guys learned a little bit about working at Piercing Pagoda and getting a job there. Bye guys.